Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection. You know this is good when it has Ultimate in the title. There are many Sonic and Sega compilations out there, and this happens to be one of my favorites. You got over 40 games for the Sega Genesis, including arcade titles such as Altered Beast, and localized games and Master System games like Fantasy Zone. Interestingly, we got a Sega Channel exclusive game, Golden Axe 3, but not the Toe Jam and Earl games or Echo Jr. They could have put both Sega CD and 32X games on the table, but I think they wanted to focus strictly on Genesis titles. Besides, there probably wasn't enough 32X content to put on there anyway. The cover art, on the other hand, is magnificent. You got Sonic in the middle in his Western box art design, being surrounded by screens, displaying Sega games in an empty room. It's awesome. You got the Sega Genesis look surrounding the title, displayed on top, showing this is a worthy purchase. I got this for Christmas recently along with my Xbox 360 Slim and the Lego Batman trilogy, and boy have I been playing the hell out of it. The game starts out with this really cool intro where screens start popping up, and then you are shown various games. And once that is done, it boots you out to the title screen. When you get to the game selection, you have the option from a plethora of games. You get some not so well known titles such as Decap Attack, Dynamite Heavy, and especially Alex Kidd. But then you have the more iconic ones like all the Sonic games, Echo the Dolphin, and Comic Zone. The main selling point here is not only the nostalgia factor of being able to play all your old games onto one disc, but you also get to play them in HD. The Xbox 360 is one of the first ever consoles to introduce high definition graphics, so it made sense that Sega wanted to put all that to the test and push the system to its limits. The games are more than playable. The graphics aren't as bad as people make it out to be. It's a little fuzzy, sure, but it doesn't affect the other 90% of its visuals. Audio-wise, they're okay. However, there are some noticeable parts of the audio that you can hear that are half-baked, like the flying battery passing by in Sonic 3 or hitting Eggman in the mainline Sonic games. Again, not bad. But otherwise, everything works how it is intended to be. Moving on to the unlockable content, if you complete a prerequisite, you will be able to unlock what is locked behind. Some are easy, like simply just going into Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. Some of the medium difficulty, like getting a Chaos Emerald in Sonic 1, or getting a certain amount of points in columns, easy mode. But some are just a pain in the ass to straight up hard to beat, such as getting points in Super Thunderblade. These prerequisites are hard, but they are doable in my eyes. For getting them done, you unlock new games and interviews and video interviews with Sega employees. The unlockables and a novelty to have, a treat to have too. Each console has achievements you can unlock as you play the game. Again, a novelty to have as if you accomplish something, but they don't earn you anything from it besides bragging rights, besides giving you bragging rights. The menu aesthetic is also pretty cool. You got the Sega Genesis Model 1 look while cartridges are flying over to the right in the background like a bullet. You can sort your games out however you want, and you can favorite them by rating. You can hover over the game you choose and it will show you the year it was released, the genre, and display the game in front of you. It's neat. You know what's also neat? This museum section you can access. By pressing B on your controller, you can be taken to a museum to show, again, the release date of the game and a history selection where you can learn about the game and the facts about them too. Switching over to the art section shows you the cover art and the cartridge and can zoom in as close as you want or as far as you want. I love the cover art, whether it be in boxes or cases. It's so cool to look around, to look at it, and to take a gander at it. You truly makes it a museum. There's an error with Game Ground where it shows the Mega Drive version instead of the Sega Genesis version. I don't know why they couldn't put it on the Genesis, but it beats me. Basically, they could have done it, but they didn't. Moving on, it's cool features like that make me want to go back to this compilation, playing it over and over again. Growing up, I never really was much of a Sega fanatic. I was a huge Nintendo fan. Too busy playing the Wii and other games like Mario Kart Wii and Super Mario Galaxy to give a shit. I also grew up with the Xbox 360, so there's that too. My history with the game was very vague. My dad's friend had a PS3 and he had a copy of this game, and when I played it, it was for a couple of minutes, and I never played it again until now. Now that I have it, I realize, you know what's weird with this E10 Plus rating? You'd think with all the violence and the slight blood, the ESRB would have a T rating onto the collection, but I guess not. It wouldn't be till its successor, the Sega Genesis Classics, that it would get a T rating, which the game sucked ass, by the way. And can you blame me? No Sonic 3 and Knuckles. We could have had a beautiful menu like Sonic's Ultimate Genesis Collection too, but nope. Here's Child's Room. I'll give it credit where credit is due. At least they brought Sega Genesis games that weren't even in the Genesis collection to begin with, such as bringing back Toe Jam and Earl 1 and 2, Column 3, Virtual Fighter, Wonder Boy, and all that jazz. They decided to make it as cool as possible, and they failed, and that's all that matters. Should I also mention I have Sonic 06?